Well, I was the anchor man last year. Looks like I'm the anchor man again this year. That's okay. I was in the Navy, so I know a few things about anchors. But I won't talk about anchors. I'm very pleased to be here to present our company capabilities to you. Again, I'm Ron Crumps, the Facility and Infrastructure Asset Management Practice Director for Alpha. If there's one key message I'd want to leave with you today, Alpha's purpose and mission and our passion is and always has been to collect good facility data, to interpret and analyze that data, data analytics, and turn that into good facility information so you have good facility information to make key decisions, to make arguments for resources. That's why we formed 16 years ago. We stayed true to that, and that's our core mission and passion, and everything we do revolves around that. So I wanted to make that real clear right up front. But of course, there are a few more details, so let me show you some company highlights, client history, and highlights, contract opportunities, and trends and pursuits. So we are Alpha Facility Solutions. We are a service-disabled, veteran-owned, minority-owned small business right here in San Antonio. We have around 85 to 100 staff, not like the big guys, but we're licensed A&E in Texas. We stay in the planning and assessment quadrant of the facility life cycle. We're not trying to feed ourselves design work or construction administration or follow-on work. We're focused on asset inventory and condition assessment. So whether it's K-12 or higher ed or the municipal space or the federal space, facility asset management truly is our passion and always has been. We've helped our clients secure over $10 billion in additional funding through the power of the good data and information we collect and provide over the last 16 years. What is facility asset management? I know this is a little bit basic, but I really like fundamentals. I think focusing on fundamentals can be very helpful. DJ Vanier wrote this really helpful article some years ago. You may have read it. If you haven't, it's a really good read. And he defined facility asset management around 6 what questions. You might say it's sort of the science of what, facility asset management. He asked, what assets do we own? Or the 6 questions of facility asset management. What assets do we own? What's the value of our assets? What's the condition of our assets? And in answering those first few questions, they kind of set up the next 3. What maintenance then has been deferred? What hasn't been done? What's the remaining service life on those assets that still have a service life and the replacement cost of those assets? And having gathered all that information, then, all right, what in the world should we do first? And this can be a cyclical process you keep doing over and over again as an asset manager. But the promise of facility asset management then in answering these 6 questions is, well, I can know things that I don't know now that I feel like I really should know. And answering those 6 questions leads to the fulfillment of that promise. I now know things that are going to help me make better decisions and make good arguments for resources. We've added a few other questions to that, so there might be really 10 questions. How do you keep the assets working through their life cycle? Well, that's a preventive maintenance program. What's the record or history of maintenance on these assets? Well, that's a barcode or QR code tagging program. How many people does it take, and what's the cost of the human capital to manage the assets through their life cycle? And what does it cost to be a responsible owner overall of the assets? So total cost of ownership modeling. The reason I labor those 10 questions and explain those 10 questions is because Alpha formed our company around answering those questions, those key questions of facility asset management. So the services we provide are aligned to answering those key questions about facility asset management, and we can help you, of course, with real property and equipment inventory services and facility condition assessments, so preventive maintenance programs, capital planning and renewal programs, and all these that you see listed on the slide, environmental audits and services, water resource management, even workforce skills management. Humans are assets as well, right? So we market a product called Readiness Insight to give the leadership of, say, a weapons loading team or a security force insight into the readiness of their staff, their certification to do the work that they've got to do, the important work that they've got to do, Readiness Insight, and facility budget guidance. So we've assessed over 550 million square feet over the past 16 years answering these key questions. And for whom? So our client history and highlights are as follows. Numerous DoD agencies, all the military services, the reserves, Army and Marine Corps reserves. We have 2 current contracts with the Army National Guard, staff augmentation of the Army National Guard headquarters, and also Army Materiel Command, U.S. Department of Agriculture and Labor. So we've provided SMS services to all these clients, and then numerous other clients at the state and municipal level, higher ed and K-12, healthcare, commercial and manufacturing, fast food, hospitality, et cetera, et cetera. So a wide range of clients who have large inventories of facilities and need help answering those questions. We try to make ourselves accessible via standing contracts like these. On the federal side, GSA OASIS, Small Business Pool, and the Multiple Awards Schedule, the Houston-Galveston area contract. And for the non-federal side, Sourcewell and TIPS, also Seaport. So you see all the logos up there of the standing contracts that we have contracts with to make ourselves accessible to a wide range of clients. What about trends and pursuits? Well, you might say the science of where, right? GIS has that great moniker, the science of where, integrated with this science of what, the asset management services. So we see integration of GIS and traditional asset management services. Of course, applying the Federal Business Performance Standard and decarbonization, both in the federal side, and those federal standards apply to the non-federal side as well. Space utilization post-pandemic, we're doing a big project for FEMA right now, and we're also doing a project for a municipal organization up in the Northeast, so space planning post-pandemic. Strategic asset management plans, where we see the alignment of facilities to the organizational mission. That's what the basics of a strategic asset management plan, so we see that as a trend. And of course, finally, analytics playing more of a role in holistic asset management, because after all, that's how you translate facility data into facility information so that you have that good information to make good decisions. Well, that's just a quick overview of Alpha. We're very pleased to be a sponsor of the SMS Summit, and really enjoyed interacting with you over the last few days and look forward to more interaction. So thank you very much for your time.